This is 2827 North Pryor Street here in New Orleans. This is also the site of the worst fire disaster for kids last year in the Americas. This is the place where 3 days after Christmas, 8 homeless young people lost their lives in a fire in an abandoned warehouse. Those kids included Johnny, who was 20 years old, an aspiring musician, a great guitarist, who played to throngs of churchgoers outside St. Louis Cathedral. This is the place where he died. It's also the place where 17-year-old Melissa died. She had big dreams. She hoped one day that she would run an animal rescue mission. She worked as a part-time waitress at Nora's Cafe, and she loved the kids here in New Orleans, and they loved her. This is where she died. This is where Katie died. A hard scrabble life. She fought her way through Job Corps, earned a welding certificate, and looked for work as a welder. And this is where she too died. They and 5 of their friends and 2 dogs that they took care of perished here in a horrific fire. And all that remains is this memorial behind me. These kids should not have died. It should not have happened. They needed a warm place to stay when a sudden freeze came over the United States and Canada just after Christmas last year. And they didn't have a place to call home, so they came here to this warehouse. After they died, everyone's attention was galvanized, and people started asking, why were they there? Why did they die? How could 8 homeless kids die on the streets of New Orleans? How could we let this happen? But those headlines seem to have faded. People are moving on. People are on to the next news cycle, the next headline, the next story. And I just want the world to stop for a minute and remember these kids and ask ourselves, why is it that homeless young people are left to fend for themselves on the streets of this country? Can't more of us join this fight for their lives? Can't we create more opportunities for our kids to be safe? Kids' stories don't have to end this way. Just because they don't have a safe place to call home, a warm place to stay when the winter freeze overwhelms their community. We can do more. We can be more. We have to be more. These kids like Melissa and Katie and Johnny and their friends, they need us. They need us in this fight for kids' lives across the United States, across Canada, making sure that our outreach teams are going out into the streets of the cities in which we work. And you can help make this possible. You can help us make sure that our street outreach vans in every city we work in, not just here in New Orleans, but across the United States and Canada, that we're making sure that we keep those kids off the streets, that we give them blankets and sandwiches and an opportunity to come in from the cold and find safe shelter. You can help us be more. We can make the difference. We can build a future where our kids have the love and the safety and the protection and the opportunity that every kid needs. Whether or not a kid stays alive shouldn't depend on the circumstances of their birth or the color of their skin or their gender or whether anybody cares, because you and I care. We can make a difference. We can win this fight for our kids' lives and make sure that 2827 North Pryor Street never happens again. We can do this. Covenant House, you and me together.